Today, I want to talk about something that completely changed my financial life. It's not some complicated investment strategy or a get-rich-quick scheme. It's something so simple, so fundamental, that most of us overlook it. I'm talking about tracking every single expense. Yeah, I know, it sounds tedious, maybe even a little scary. But stick with me for the next 10 minutes, because I'm going to share a story about how this one simple habit took me from feeling constantly broke and stressed to being in complete control of my money. Just a few years ago, I was stuck in a cycle that might sound familiar to you. I had a decent job, I was making what I thought was good money, but at the end of every month, I was left wondering, where did it all go? I felt like I was running on a financial treadmill, working hard but getting nowhere. I had goals, big dreams of traveling, maybe buying a house someday, but they felt like distant fantasies. My bank account was a constant source of anxiety. I'd avoid looking at it, swiping my card and just hoping for the best. That hope for the best strategy? It's not a strategy, it's a recipe for disaster. The breaking point came one evening when I wanted to buy a ticket for a concert with some friends. It wasn't even that expensive, but when I checked my account, the numbers just weren't there. I had to tell my friends I couldn't make it, making up some lame excuse. The feeling of embarrassment and frustration was overwhelming. I was an adult with a full-time job, and I couldn't afford a simple night out. That night, I knew something had to change. I was tired of money controlling me. I decided it was time for me to take control of my money. So, I started digging for answers. I read books, watched videos just like this one, and one piece of advice kept popping up everywhere. Track your expenses. Honestly, I dismissed it at first. It sounded like so much work. I mean, who has the time to write down every single coffee, every snack, every subscription? It felt like putting my financial life under a microscope, and I was afraid of what I might find. But that feeling of desperation from missing the concert was stronger than my resistance. I decided to give it a try. I made a deal with myself. I would track every single penny for just 1 month, 30 days. That's it. I got a simple notebook. You could use an app, a spreadsheet, whatever works for you. But for me, the physical act of writing it down felt more intentional. The first few days were eye-opening, to say the least. That $5 coffee on the way to work? That's $25 a week, $100 a month. The lunch I bought because I was too busy to pack one. Another $15, adding up to nearly $300 a month. And don't even get me started on the random online purchases, the subscription services I'd forgotten I even had, the little snacks here and there. Individually, they seemed like nothing. Tiny, harmless transactions. But together, they were a monster, silently devouring my paycheck. I have to be honest, that first week was tough. Seeing the numbers in black and white was a shock. It wasn't about judgment or feeling guilty. It was about awareness. For the first time, I wasn't just guessing where my money was going. I had a detailed map of my spending habits. It was like turning on a light in a dark room. I saw things I never knew were there. I discovered I was spending almost $200 a month on various streaming and app subscriptions, many of which I hadn't used in months. That daily bottled water from the vending machine was costing me $60 a month. These weren't bad choices, they were unconscious choices. I was spending on autopilot. By the end of the 30 days, I had a complete picture. The grand total was staggering. The amount of money I was wasting on things that didn't truly add value to my life was enough to fund a significant portion of my travel dreams. This wasn't about deprivation. It wasn't about telling myself I could never have a coffee or buy lunch again. It was about seeing the trade-offs. Was that daily latte worth more to me than a weekend trip to the mountains? Was that unused gym membership more important than building an emergency fund? Suddenly, I had the data to answer those questions. The tracking process empowered me. It transformed my abstract anxiety about money into concrete, actionable information. With this newfound clarity, I could finally create a budget that actually worked. It wasn't a restrictive prison. It was a freedom plan. I knew exactly how much I could allocate to my needs, like rent and groceries, my wants, like entertainment and dining out, and most importantly, my goals. I canceled the useless subscriptions, started packing my lunch a few days a week, and brewed my coffee at home. The money I saved wasn't just extra cash. I gave every dollar a job. This portion goes to my travel fund. This portion goes to my savings account. This portion is for guilt-free fun. The anxiety started to melt away, replaced by a feeling of confidence and control. My life didn't become boring. In fact, it became more intentional and fulfilling. Instead of mindless spending, I was now mindfully spending. I savored that weekend coffee out with a friend because it was a deliberate choice, a planned treat, not just a thoughtless habit. I was directing my money toward what truly mattered to me. Within 6 months of starting this journey, I had saved enough to not only build a solid emergency fund, but also to book my first big trip. The feeling of buying that plane ticket with money I had intentionally saved was 1,000 times better than any impulse purchase I had ever made. So, if you're feeling stuck, if you're tired of that month-end panic, I challenge you to do the same. Just for 1 month. Track everything. Don't judge yourself, just observe. Collect the data. You might be surprised, even shocked by what you find. But I promise you, that information is not your enemy. It is your most powerful tool. It's the key to unlocking the door from financial stress to financial freedom. It's the first, most crucial step in telling your money where to go, instead of wondering where it went. You have the power to change your financial story, and it starts with this one simple, transformative act. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this story has inspired you to take a closer look at your own finances. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And if you decide to take on the 30-day tracking challenge, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your experience. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until next time, take control and build the life you want.